That ticking you hear in our music in the background, that's the ticking towards Tuesday, November the 5th, when you Americans, go to the polls to vote for the next president. And we are guaranteed to have a new president, whether it be Donald Trump for the second time, but he wasn't president this time, or quacking Kamala Harris, who continues to just prove that when she opens her mouth, God knows what comes out of it. But as we get into the election cycle, folks, how are you being influenced by this election? This is really part of our rant today, where what's going to get you to vote and why? So, folks, welcome back to the Rant Network. He is Stuart Brisgell. I'm David Solomon. I cannot vote in this election. He can and has or will. This is an unedited, uncensored, unfiltered conversation on a wide variety of topics. And until Tuesday, it's going to be, actually probably till Wednesday, it's going to be the election. Because chances are, whatever happens after Tuesday is going to be our rant on Wednesday. Folks, this is the platform for you to express your opinions, your thoughts, your experiences, your ideas, hear from a variety of different perspectives, and honest, frank, direct opinions. Join us today as we're going to dive into this news topic, which is just dominating the cycle on this side of the world. We do everything from modern life's absurdities all the way to the deeper issues. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, back at the Rant Network. So, Stuart, I'm going to ask you this. Tuesday. It's only 4 days away. What's going through your head right now?
Well, we were talking we call that backstage. And
Stuart, we lost your mic there. Sorry, we lost your mic there. Stuart's mic just dropped out. That's all wonderful. So, folks, listen, let me ask you this question. One of the things that I was listening to an news article was...
I'm back.
Okay, let me throw this back at you. One of the things that was very surprising, 18 to 29-year-olds, approximately 7 out of 8 are getting their news information on politics, especially on this election, from online sources.
Yeah.
Stuart,
all right.
What about you, man? What about you? Talk about you.
Okay. All right. Okay, listen, before I get there, and I'll talk about the TikTok news, which is all advertising, which is trying to get young girls ages 12 to 16 to vote by, reproductive rights, and that Trump is going to make you be pregnant with your stepfather's child. No, that's just ludicrous. The same thing it is that Donald Trump, according to Mark Cuban, doesn't like strong women. I mean, the guy is surrounded by Kelly Conway. That's a man-eating woman if I ever met one ever in person, which I did, by the way. They are trying to call this person every single name to try and get an emotional reaction out of you that not only is nonsensical, but is really just a lie. Kamala is avoiding, as you said in the backstage, Joe Rogan, right? Why? Because she literally is a danger to herself. The same reason why they changed the password for Joe Biden's Zoom until after the election, they don't want Kamala Harris to be in the front stage so that you can actually get to know her. And, when we look at swing states like Georgia and the Peach State, you have 3.6 million people already voted in the pre-election. And you know what? For the first time in history, there are a lot of Republicans running out to vote early. But it's going back to the news cycle. They need to get rid of McDonald Trump. They need to get rid of Garbage Man Trump. They need to get rid of Showman Trump and focus on insanity. They called him the Nazi. They called mega people, the stormtroopers. They are now saying, hey, what's going to happen January 6th? I really think that the left is trying to pontificate what they want to do on January 6th. I think they're the ones that want to go out and rush the stage. I think they're the ones that have encouraged not one sniper, but 2 snipers that are American-born Democrats to go and shoot Donald J. Trump. I think it's them that are the ones who are filling their pockets. It is them that is trying to take this republic and turn it to communist republic. And as a joke, David, this cycle in our podcast has been just about this for weeks and weeks and weeks because the news just doesn't seem to want to cover it. And it's absurd. And, when we say our introduction, we say we cover absurdity. The absurdity is that now Donald Trump is suing CBS for $10 billion over faking the interview that you saw on the news, because it really never happened. It really took the best of AI to take all the words, like right out of a spy movie, where they get someone to say a whole bunch of poetry and they take the word salad like they did with Tom Cruise in, what was that movie called? Mission Impossible, to make a voice recording. They did that in real life on CBS News. You, the American people, you, the world, need to understand that is what you call a deep state. That is what you call a Manchurian candidate. That is what you call an attack on democracy. And it's frustrating, David, that every single day, this is the nonsensical information being put out. Now, going back to the TikTok news, I had an argument with one of my daughters where she's trying to tell me that Donald Trump is going to, prevent girls who are raped with incest, that have to keep their babies, because Donald Trump's going to prevent any and all abortions. Are you on crack cocaine? The world has gone nuts. I got Jewish people telling me Adolf Hitler's a Nazi. Don't you know that? That Kamala Harris is the best for Israel. Well, according to Israel, they by majority want Donald J. Trump, and they don't want the Biden, Kamala Harris, Tim Tampon, right? Biden wants, and Kamala Harris wants, and Tim wants women to be used and abused by men, by allowing men into women's sports. They would have you believe this is good for you. They would have you believe that there's a free house there for you. Man, they're going to give you free house, free food. They're going to give you free gas. They're going to give you a free work. They're going to give you a 4-day work week. Fuck, why don't we just give you free money and call it Cuba? David, where will this end?
Well, Stuart, I'm going to tell you something. To me, the absurdity starts, what you just said. Like it's propelled a lot of it by the media. And I'll give you an example. Mika Brzezinski, one of the lunatics from the MSNBC, she was on The View, another group of lunatics, and they're having a meltdown. That in Trump presidency is the end of democracy. It's the end of America. It's the end. This election is the great. And they go on and on and on and on and on and on and on, and they're creating nothing but hysteria. But what they haven't said one time was, what will Kamala Harris do well? They continue to push, at the beginning, think of the different nuances. First, he was a criminal. They stopped doing that. Then they talked about Project 2025. Somehow that disappeared off the table because they realized they couldn't get that to stick. So now they're pushing this national abortion ban, and they're still pushing it in a while, and national abortion ban, and Trump continues to say, folks, I've never asked for a national abortion ban. It's a misquote, okay? All of these things are misquotes. Even the day he was going to be an autocrat. Hold on a second. This was interesting. They pulled out a quote. They said he's on day one, he wants to be he's going to be an autocrat. He's going to be an authoritarian. And he said, yeah, on day one, I'm going to, as a joke, he said, I'm going to pass these executive orders. What did Joe Biden do on day one? Pass executive orders, which is autocratic. But it's okay. Joe Biden can do it. Donald Trump has no right to do it because then he's an autocrat. Okay. When last Sunday, and we've talked about this, the entire rally at Madison Square Garden was dubbed the Nazi rally by Hillary Clinton, by Kamala Harris, by Tim Walz, by all the rest of the media. I mean, like this whole thing. But, when you see American flags, Israeli flags, other flags, people walking around free to talk and whatever, this isn't the Nazi rally. No one was yelling Heil Trump. No one's yelling death to the rest of the world. It was about make America great again. Bring back the American dream. And that is amazing because the twist that the media likes to do, and I've seen the TikTok videos and the Instagram videos and the people countering it, going, get your facts. But that's the problem. The facts are irrelevant. I've had arguments with people on this side of the border and then on the U.S. side of the border. Exactly what you said. Oh, Kamala Harris is going to be good for Canada. In what way? What proof do you have that she's going to be good for Canada? Really? You're just coming up with stuff because this is what makes you feel good. You don't have proof. None of her policies. In fact, if the Americans go into a recession, which is what they're predicting under Kamala Harris, Canada's in trouble.
1967.
So,
Right.
like,
Right. But David, that's like a 1968 flashback where they think that's going to be a double dip. But, you know,
No,
like
no,
you
but
mentioned,
Stuart, no,
you
but
mentioned Madison Square Garden and Nazism. You know, David, was Franklin D. Roosevelt a neo-Nazi?
Can I ask you a question?
How
When
about
the, hold on. When the Democrats had their rally in Madison Square Garden some 30 years ago, was that a Nazi rally? Because that's the last time they were there. So I think that the problem is that the spin that continues to happen here, and you hear it on all the news channels, and you hear it on the feeds, and you hear it whatever. No wonder your daughter is saying to you, yeah, Donald Trump is this, because if enough people say it, it has to be true. You know, when Marvel brings around, or like some of the seven Marvel people get together to try to, promote Kamala Harris, why do I want to listen to entertainers? Do I really think an entertainer knows more than I do? I mean, right now, all of these things, whether it's lunatic, the lunatics from the left, and the entertainers and whatever, the Taylor Swifts of this world, to Scarlett Johansson, who I have tremendous respect for, but like when you stand there and you say you must vote for Kamala Harris, but you didn't give me a reason. All you do is give me emotion. I don't want emotion, because emotion isn't putting food on my table. Emotion isn't paying my bills. Emotion isn't going to help me with my family. Emotion's not helping me with crime and immigration. Stop.
And was the last 4 years good for you, David Solomon?
No, but you see, they don't want you to ask that question. You see, that's the Democrats. The Democrats, because you see, the problem is that, and I heard it even with Bill Maher, and I like Bill Maher, whatever. And Megyn Kelly went after him and said, like, I don't get it. When it's done, everything has to be Donald Trump's fault that goes wrong, right? Donald Trump inherited Obama's economy, so therefore Donald Trump can be successful. But Joe Biden inherited Donald Trump's economy, and it was successful. Therefore, we should praise Joe Biden. Like, it doesn't make sense. The inconsistency of it, and to try to spin it always that the left is right. Listen, Stuart, even what the White House just did, they caught Biden on video talking about Trump supporters being garbage, and the White House edited the video.
Oh, I mean, forget edited the video. They edited the transcript, which is a criminal offense. The records of the president must be 100% accurate. And that's a lawsuit I'm waiting for it to come as well.
But your point of the $10 billion at CBS is exactly the proof of the absurdity. You want to talk about threat to democracy? It continues to state a statement. Threat to democracy, Donald Trump. No, threat to democracy is the left trying to seize control any way it can. This is 1984. This is the book from 1984. We're going to control the messaging. We're going to control what you're going to hear. We're going to control how you're going to be. We're going to control everything. I mean, it's just nuts. It's nuts.
Listen, at the end of the day, Mark Cuban, stay the fuck on Shark Tank, because you're just a dipshit.
No, he left Shark Tank. And by the by, listen, I don't mind a Mark Cuban. No, listen, I'm going to tell you something. I don't mind a Mark Cuban. I don't mind a Kevin O'Leary. Because if you watch Kevin O'Leary, he went on CNN, he brought up something, and they attacked him. And it's just proof of how the left doesn't want to listen. Kevin O'Leary, an amazingly successful businessman. And I'll listen to Mark Cuban's opinion, because he's been there, done that. He's been in the trenches. He's invested in businesses. And I'll listen to him. I don't agree, but I will listen. And the problem is, when Kevin O'Leary says that Kamala Harris is in the wrong, they don't want to listen. They want to attack, because you can't attack our candidate. We need the Democrats. We need the left in power. This is all you hear. This is all you see. And that's why you get this credible amount of misinformation online, in the public media. This is why when people are going to the ballot, they're frustrated. Because when they look at their credit card bills, their mortgages, their gas prices, I think the best joke I heard was, I've gotten stronger over time, because now I can lift one bag of groceries with $100. It's just amazing how people are just looking at their wallets now and saying, I don't want this emotional business. Talk to me what's going to work for me. And I think that this is where there's a pushback. 18 to 29-year-olds haven't experienced this yet. And it's conversations we've had often here, with 18 to 29-year-olds who don't have a mortgage, who don't have a car, and when you ask them why, they're saying that Donald Trump screwed them because that's all they know. Remember, if you're 18 years old today, Stuart, you were born in 2006. You don't remember 9/11. You don't remember a lot of the tough the times we've had because you weren't there. So to you, the only thing that you're aware of is that when Donald Trump was president, we had COVID, and Joe Biden took over, and look what he had to deal with. So to an 18 to 24-year-old, Joe Biden and the Democrats are heroes. It's amazing, Stuart. Last word.
I don't think it's so amazing. I think it's fucking frightening. But anyways, we got to wrap this up because we blew past our quarter hour. But we'll be back pre-election.
Yeah, Monday, guys. We're going to be talking about the election, and then on Wednesday, clearly, if we get there and there is a result, what's the result going to be? Because, folks, speaking of panic, I don't know if you've heard, but already, if Trump doesn't win the election, there's going to be an insurrection. There's going to be another January 6th. Don't you hear this? Don't you know the military is going to be all over the streets? He's going to put out the soldiers. He's going to... Think about it, folks, when you go to the ballot box. Is this the kind of hysteria you want? Do you want a word salad? And by the way, what kind of dressing do you want with Kamala Harris? On that note, that's it for this week's edition of the Rant Network. We hope you enjoyed this conversation and gained something out of this and a little bit of thought as you go to the ballot box and you're talking to your children and friends and their children. We appreciate your support and hope you join us again next time. Folks, listen, really, 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 what we really require is you guys to subscribe to this channel. This channel is there for you. Share it. We love when you do that.